What's up, All Wheels fans? I've got something a little bit different today. I've not done one for quite some time, but I thought, as we've got some perfect candidates in front of us, I thought we'd do a little C-Case Customs, and in particular, Martini. Reason being is the Lancia Delta Integrale and also the Porsche 935 both have affiliation to Martini. And as I've got a bunch of pieces that I can use there, I thought we'd do a couple of simple customs. So, what should I start with? I'm probably going to kind of do them side by side at the same time, but as I say, we've got Martini going on to both. We've got some, and do excuse my nails, I've kept them long specifically so that I can do this custom. So we've got some kind of BBS type wheels in there, so they're going to be going silver, set on some fresh rubber. They're going to be going onto the Porsche 935. Then on the Integrale, I have got, as I showed you in the previous video, I've got some of those beautiful Evolution 2 wheels to go onto there as well. So they're currently grey, they're going to be painted white. They're going to be going silver, oh, not those tyres, sorry. They're going to be going silver. So we'll get those done. We'll get those done. We're going to be taking off some tampos across both as well. So enough waffle, let's just get on into it. So let's start with, okay, right, let's work it. Delta Integrale, first of all, let's crack this one open. And I picked one that had decent light tampos across the front. So first thing we're going to be doing is taking off those side tampos right there. Plenty of people will say to you different ways to be able to do it. I have tried a few numerous ones, including nail polish remover, which I personally doesn't find work that effective. When I've tried doing it on the couple of occasions I have tried doing it, it burns through the tampo and through the paintwork as well, and takes forever to even get to that sort of stage. So that hasn't worked for me. Also tried polishing, so using the Dremel and actually a little bit of bar to be able to essentially brush across the top. Does work. Again, you have to be really careful with not burning the actual paintwork itself and ending up with lumps and waves and so on if you go a little bit hard. And when you've got heavy hand like me, occasionally that can happen. So the method I'll be using for this will be good old classic lighter fluid. Yeah, nothing out of the norm, cheap, simple, effective. So that I think is going to be the first port of call. So let's crack on, let's get into it. I'm going to start with wheels actually. I'm not going to go with tampo removal first of all, because these little plastic bad boys, they're grey here at the moment, they're not as true white as they look on the camera. So we've given first two, just had a little coat of white primer just to set those up. They're going to have exactly the same. Then we'll get some white on there, leave those to dry up whilst we get the tampos removed off of those two there. First lot of wheels sprayed up in white. Actually, they're a little bit talco, to be honest. They're going to look a little bit ivory kind of colour in comparison to the white, but that's fine. That'll do good enough for what we're looking for. Slide those to one side. What I will need to do, as I say, is start removing the tampos on the side here. And as I say, I'm going to be using some universal lighter fluid. So really simple, easy to lay your hands on as well. And as I said previously, seems to be the one that works for me. But what we will need to do, or not need, but what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this one off the base just so that we can do it a little bit neater and tidier. So inside of here I should have, there we go, my Redline die cast kit. So let's figure out exactly what sort of size biggest one to knock the top of the rivet off. So, okay, almost there. So we just got a little bit more of the top to take off. There we go. One Lancia Delta Integrale. Sorted. Right, okay, we want to, next up, we're going to be doing a wheel swap. So let's take these out. Next up, we're going to get the axles sorted. So what I've done already is just use a drill bit. You can see right through the middle there, I've used a drill bit to drill out a new space for the axles to go in, which also should sit a little bit lower for us as well. WD-40 stick here, straw, whatever it is that you find that works. Depends what part of the world that you're in as to what you'll find easiest to pick up, I presume. But there we go, you'll see that just slides perfectly into there. We'll glue that down into place and we'll be popping our wheels directly into there. And then glue just on the end bit to fix in place. In there. Let's just have a little test fit and see how this is coming on. Make sure that everything's been drilled out accordingly. There we go. That wheel may fall off because it is obviously just resting in there. Right, let's see if we can get this to sit together. Okay, yep. All clicks down into place. You can see how smart that's going to look when it's sorted. Oh, that's going to look really sharp indeed. So there we go. We're going to get that sitting exactly where it should do. So let's get those off and start gluing these axles into place. Some simple Gorilla Glue. It's running out of this. Okay, so let's just a little blob if we can get one out. to one side. So that is pretty much our body made up. Just make sure it all clicks back together properly. Bit off that piece there. Right, now that is pretty much leveled up, let's get the tyres on. In fact, I'm going to wait, I'm going to wash my hands first of all before we do that. So with that, tell you what, let's get drilled out. Let's drill out the inside of there so we can get it screwed back together, which is something that I should have done first of all. So again, let's switch you out. I need the tiniest of tiny. So again, back to my red line die cast set. Find the smallest one in here. Right, there we go, pilot holes drilled out, finally. Took a little bit of time, but never mind. Right, base, one side, glass work, and that one there. Now what we're going to start doing is gloves first of all. Gloves on. As I mentioned before, my preferred way to take things off is going to be some lighter fluid. So let's get some of this and just be quite liberal. Okay, good douse. And start working here, just making sure, because we do not want to lose any of the front tempo. Too nice to lose. So let's start taking this off. Right, so after quite a bit of scrubbing away, you can see we have one Lancia Delta Integrale HF Turbo without tampos. I say without tampos, I've left the grille, the lights, indicators, fog lights all through the front, left the door handles on the side, and even this little HF logo down through the rear as well, which I may or may not end up using in the design, so I'm not quite sure at the moment, but thought door handles are quite cool to leave in there, especially as it's black on white. They certainly pop quite nicely. Right, Lancia Delta Integrale is done. Next up, 935. So what we need to do is turn this into this. There we go. So done exactly the same. I have done all the base work, cleared the tampos across the top besides that Porsche branding on the back, which again, being that it's blue and red for Martini, I thought why not, may as well keep it, makes sense. So there we go, that one's done. Let's just crack that open, let's have a little look. There we go. So completely clear, besides the little detailing across the spoiler, glass work, interior work, and there we go. That's all done across there. So we've got 2 Martini Motorsport pieces ready for some branding. So I've got a bunch, as I've shown you previously. I've got a bunch of these Martini bits and pieces. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut out a load of bits and pretty much get everything ready, and then we'll start putting those two together. tempo's pretty much complete. Next I'm going to work on some light work. So I think we'll put some brake lights into the Porsche and just detail the front lights there. So I think they've got like a black casing, so I might do a black around the outside and then just leave it smoked on the inside, see how that comes up. Then on the Lancia we've got some brake lights that we need to put in, I think, and it's just there's a little bit of white paint just on the corner there by the looks of things as well, so we'll get that taken care of, get them cleared and get them put together. Too bad, to be honest, Hot Wheels fans. Let's take a quick little nose whilst we're here, just so you can see what I have done. So through the front, the tampos, obviously self-explanatory. Just picked up on the detailing through the front there, so just this was kind of a smoked smoke colour, so we put the little light detailing in there. Changed over for these BBS wheels that I put onto silver. Again, tampos through the side, nicely done. I'm quite happy with that. So this was cut down to fit into the kind of door shape, which I thought worked quite nicely. And then obviously the Martini branding behind, the little shells, Cibi, and I think it's I forget what it is down through the bottom. Kept the Porsche. Obviously we've got the Martini stripe runs right the way through the top. Down through the side exactly the same. So yeah, really pleased with how it's come out actually. I won't say it was a simple custom, because doing water slides are never simple, they're quite time consuming to do, but not too bad at all. We're looking forward to the red base version, because the Martini actually came on a red, I had a red splitter and side skirts and so on and so forth. So the next edition of this will be quite nice to have in the collection, and possibly do the same sort of thing but with a gold wheel. Right, onto our Monte Carlo special. I really should have removed that little HF logo at the back there, but there we go. Pretty straightforward, nice and simple. Side tampos. We've got the Evolution 2 wheels on there, which I've painted up in well, off-white, I won't say white. Little Martini Racing detailing through the spoiler, and also the exhaust painted up in silver. Exactly the same through the other side. Make a little bit of a hash on it, that side there. And then the Martini stripe running right the way through the top and playing into the original decals that I left on there. So yeah, also left the original decals through the side there as well. So yeah, a little Martini Motorsport special done and dusted.